fifth graders. Today we're going to learn about converting metric units, and we're also going to learn about converting decimals to fractions, and then we're going to learn how to divide fractions, and we're going to touch up on prime factors. So let's get started with converting metric units. We're going to do number 3 together. Number 3, we have to figure out how many grams goes into 60 ounces. And I know that this worksheet does not give you the table for how many grams goes into ounces, kilograms goes into ounces, and all that stuff. So you can use Google to figure it out. When I used Google, I found out that 1 ounce equals about 28.35 grams. So we're going to use that to our advantage. So we're going to use the given numbers in number 3 first. So we are given that 60 ounces gives us X grams, right? We're going to keep it a variable of X because we don't know how many grams goes into 60. That's what we're trying to figure out. And then we're going to use this conversion right here. Or we're going to use this to convert. And we have to match it up, ounces to ounces and grams to grams. So we're going to have 1 ounce on top and about 28.35 grams on bottom. And then with that, we're going to cross multiply. So we're going to multiply X by 1, and then we're going to multiply 60 by 28.35 grams. And we already know that X times 1 is just X, right? And then we need to figure out what 28.35 times 60 is. And you can use the shortcut by using the calculator, but I'm just going to draw it out for you guys. We're going to make that decimal point thicker. And then we're going to multiply by 60. And we already know that 0 times anything just gives us 0. So I'm going to make it simple and just put 4 zeros. Make sure to put my placeholder. And now we get to real multiplying. 6 times 5 is 30. So I put 0 there. Bring the 3 there. 6 times 3 is 18. 18 plus 3 is 21. So we bring the 1 down. Bring the 2 there. 6 times 8 is 48. 48 plus 2 is 50. So we're going to put the 0 here and put the 5 there. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 plus 5 is 17. Now we add. And we get 17, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. And the decimal point for the product is right here for now. Now we have to look up back. We're going to look back to the original problem, which is 28.35 times 60. And the only decimal points that I see are these two right here. So we're going to move this decimal at the end twice to the left. So 1, 2. And the decimal point ends right there. We get 1701. Now we're going to bring that up here. So X equals 1701. So in other words, 60 ounces gives us about 1,701 grams. And that's your answer for number 3. Now let's move on to converting decimals to fractions. This one is really easy. We're going to do number 5 together. Number 5 gave us 0.02. Now, remember what I told you guys in one of the previous lessons that we did together? The number that is right after the decimal point is the tenths place, and the number that is about 2 spaces after the decimal point is the hundredths place, and the number the number that's 3 places behind the decimal point is the thousandths place, and it goes on and on and on. But for now, we know that the 2 ends in the second place from the decimal point, so we know that it's the hundredths. Let's spell it out, hundredths, right? And hundredths is basically that it gives us that the denominator is going to be 100, and the number that was landed on it is going to be the number, and it's going to be 2 over 100. That's it. However, you can go the extra mile and simplify to get 1 over 50. So you really have 2 choices for this for this number. Now let's move on to dividing fractions. We're going to do number 6 together. Number 6 gave us 2/4 divided by 8. So there's a rule for dividing fractions. It's always going to be that the dividend is always going to stay the same. So we're going to keep 2/4, 2/4. But the operation, the division symbol, is going to turn into the multiplication symbol. And the divisor is going to turn into its reciprocal. And reciprocal just means opposite. And 8 is the same thing as 8/1. So the opposite of 8/1, op, would be 1/8. So we're gonna replace the 8 with 1/8. And then now we just solve. So we're gonna go multiply straight across. 2 times 1, just 2. 4 times 8, 32. And now we simplify to get 1/16. You simplify by dividing both the top and bottom by 2, because 2 can go into both numbers. And this is your final answer. Now let's move on to prime factors. So for this worksheet right here, if it's a prime factor, then you either put prime factor or you just answer this question, is it a prime factor, with a yes or with a yes. However, if it's not a prime factor, then you put no or not a prime factor, and you have to explain why. And to explain why, you would just put the other factors that goes into that number. And what I mean by other numbers, it's because prime number, a definition of prime number is that the only numbers that can divide into it is the same number or 1, and that's it. However, numbers that are not prime numbers will be like 4. Like 1 times 4 can go into 4, but also 2 times 2 can go into 4. And we're gonna do number 5 together, which gives us 47. And we already know that 1 and 47 goes into it. However, if we try other numbers like 2, 3, 4, and so on, except for 47, and 1, nothing else will go into it, because only 47 and 1 goes into 47 equally. As for like numbers like 2 and 3, it will give us like a decimal or fraction. So number 5 would be that it's a prime number. So we're going to put prime number, or you could just put yes, and that's it. And I hope this lesson or these worksheets helped you guys a bit, or I hope this video helps you guys a bit.